Hey everyone, this is Bunny with WC Replays, the shoutcaster known for imitating unit death sounds, and you're listening to a Cecil audio commentary.
Yo guys, welcome back. Audio 195. This is me, Cecil, bringing to you today's audio in the form of a 2 vs 2 with me and Fear playing in our ACL matches. This would be round 2 that we were playing in. Let's get this replay paused at the 15-second mark at the 1x speed, and while you all get to that mark, I guess I can read some PMs, because this audio is going to have quite a bit of information in it, so I hope I can squeeze it all in. Okay, and we'll see how that runs through. Alright, let's just get this unpaused in 3 seconds then. 3, 2, 1, unpause. Now, the main thing that I'm going to tell you guys today is communication during 2 vs 2s, and I'll show you guys how crucial that is towards your timing in the game and how it can distract you if you get too immersed into it. So here's what we're doing right here. We're talking on Ventrilo at the same time. That's Ventrilo with 1 L, and you can get that at ventrilo.com, and it is a voice chat program. And I'm sorry, I do not have any. I have a lot of people requesting if I have any Ventrilo addresses that you guys can connect to. Sorry, the only ones that I use are private ones, and I'm not allowed to give them out. Sorry about that. But here we go. Against a dual Night Elf team, the guy who had a question about the Night Elf, well, here's a very nice strategy to go for. I'll actually enlighten you guys on how they played in the first game, which was just very, very effective, versus our strategy, which was on Scorched Basin. But against Dual Night Elf, our strat that we are starting to get known to be using with the mass summons and everything, you cannot use that against Dual Night Elf. Especially players like this, we realize in their first match, they really love to use Wisps, and 2 Night Elf players using Wisps is a little too hard to handle, and especially, one of them is going to get Dryads, so it's just going to trample over your strategy. So we have to make something different. And so I'm just going to go for Demon Hunter and Hunts, and I'm going to try to bear build this up. I think this is the one where I get the bear build. But Team RS, they are running steady. They got a Demon Hunter and Archers. The other person is going for Keeper and Hunts. So simple enough. It's actually part of the strategy that I mentioned before, and I'm just realizing this as I'm going along, so that's pretty cool. Will I get my second Ancient of War? I think this is where I want to say I do get it, because that would be very useful. What's that Wisp doing? I don't know. But here I go. I see that Keeper of the Grove, so I just want to get as many mana burns off as I want. Don't worry if you use this Entangle or anything, as long as you're not like in the orange, then you're cool. Just get as many mana burns as you can. That's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to just, Fear is also going for his surrounding as well, what he is very well known for. If you try to creepjack Fear when he's getting militia involved, it's just not going to turn out great. You're just going to get surrounded, and that's how we got his Demon Hunter. And now the Keeper is on the run, and I made sure that, if I had mana, and that damn sheep wouldn't have blocked me. Holy crap, that's annoying. But be sure to click on the hero before you mana burn it. It's so humiliating to get like a mana burn when you're mana burning like friggin' 3 mana. What kind of crap is that? Yeah, you're gonna look really cool. How much did you just mana burn out? Yeah, 3. 50 mana to deal 3 damage. Good going, you dunce. Anyways, here we go. He has his, still going steady with the Keeper and Demon Hunter. They do not want us to be creeping there. It's simple enough to imagine, because they're expecting us to creep there next. They blocked that Footman with that Wisp. Very, very nice move by Pillage. Blocked it. It's not going anywhere. I made sure that I mana burn that Keeper so he is out of an Entangle. He had enough mana for one as well, but couldn't quite get to it. So what I'm doing right here is I'm just trying to force them back a little bit. If you click on my vision, by the way, make sure the fog of war is on. What I'm doing here, I'm just making sure that while Fear gets prepared to get these creeping down, I am trying to weaken their hero a little bit. We realize that I can't take them on alone, so what we're going to do, we're just going to focus fire onto that demon hunter, beat him up really hard, so they're not going to come back, because they know how we can just surround and really deal some damage if they're not paying close attention. So now we're pretty confident that they're not coming back. I kind of stay on the outskirts a little bit. I let my huntresses creep. I kind of bring my DH out just to take a peek, and the reason for that is if they're thinking, alright, if I see a demon hunter first, usually that's the lead of his army, and I better get out of the way because he's starting to come towards me again, and I better get in position. So that's why I just brought him over there for a second or two, just to make sure that they're not going to interrupt us. So I get an Ankh of Reincarnation. Me and Fear decide to split the gold on it. I give him 200 and I keep the 200, and I buy a Boots of Speed for that demon hunter because I am probably only getting that one hero, and it's at this point in the game that we realize, alright, we better attack soon, because it's at this spot when, I mean, we looked at their army, they're not really bringing much out. One of them, they're either, for one thing, hoarding archers in their base, which we just figured that out, and we just saw him get a Pandaren Brewmaster. So that signifies that they just reached Tier 2, and they're just starting to get their Tier 2 buildings. Look at our army, and it's pretty good for taking out those buildings, so I am just desperately trying to chase that damn demon hunter. I had the Boots of Speed ready, and I was going right up under him, and he wouldn't attack. He would get really close to it. He'd get within attack range. He'd start to play the first, like, millisecond of the animation, and then stop. It was so frickin' retarded. Ugh, I don't know. But anyways, we are just gonna take out his Tier 2 as fast as we can, and it is proving its worth, as his Demon Hunter is very weak at the moment, and so I have a nice situation of the Naga, the Demon Hunter, and everything. The second that I see that Keeper out of the way here, I'm going to just start attacking it right away. He uses his portal, he gets out of there. Fear's got to use his portal, so I am out of there as well. And we both saw them use their portal, so we thought that, hey, maybe he portaled back to his base if he clicked on it by impulse, but we don't want to find out. If they did, I'd be stuck in a 2 versus 1, and I would have Drunken Haze, and I would lose some hunts. That's why I didn't run back there. It's not worth the gamble. So I'm basically trying to get rid of all possible scouts right now, so they can't really see where we're heading towards. Now we see where they're going. That Pandaren Brewmaster sticks out a little bit. He had attack moves, so that cost him a couple hundred hit points. So I was kind of picturing that Drunken Haze coming up. So I was like, ah, crap, I better watch out a little bit here. So, by the way, I lied. I got a Naga Sewage. That's right. I was going for the, because they're both Night Elf, I just went my solo strategy against Night Elf. And that works in here. So we realize at this point, alright, we better come back, we better go attack, because they're just going to start to get their Tier 2 again. And wouldn't you know, check it out, he is. So, he's got an Ancient of Wind, we can take that down. Pretty fun for us. And so here we go. Guys, this battle right here, I will show you an example of why it's very important to take advantage of the abilities that Wisps have to be anywhere around the map and still have the same advantage as you would if he was parked right in the middle of your base. So Fear's Archmage right here was very weak. I told him do not try to portal out of the way. So goes down, but if we look at what we have here, it's good enough as it is. But notice how we don't really worry about the Druids of the Claw quite yet, and here's where I bring that Wisp in, where all those summoned units are. Boom, right in the middle of that, I take all of that out there, gets a lot of experience for me, and now is a little time where I can work on those bears a little bit. I lose my Naga Sea Witch in the process, but we are still standing strong in this battle. And right now I clicked on his bears and they're the Adept class. This is another great reason why attacking at this time caused such a big impact on the game, because he didn't have Master Class yet, and if we would have attacked like 30 seconds later, a minute later, just went to go creeping and not think about what's going on at the enemy's home front here, we might have been facing some big friggin' bears and we would have been in some deep trouble, because those would have been a great damage soak up. But look how I tried to save his Mountain King here. I used my Dryad. I attacked their faster moving heroes, especially their Keeper, because I didn't have time to click on it to do a mana check here. But I just did that so they can't catch up to the Mountain King, and I would be in good shape. So I saved the Mountain King dry, got beat up a little bit, but it was for the Mountain King. So now it's time for me to get a few of the bears. And I'll go into a little more detail, by the way, guys, about timing, just so you can really grasp the whole thing of it. But if you really, really want to get a lot of info about that, that's one of the things that I teach to the fellas that I train sometimes. So Fear was going to go for those golem creeps, but in destroying that wisp, they're very well aware that he might be just waiting for them. But that one wisp that I had right here detects all that stuff. Ow, I just like hurt my throat. And I detonate on the bears. Biggest thing I can do right there. I mean, they're pretty chocked up on mana as it is, so. Okay, we're getting ready for the final battle here. It's definitely not over yet. We did hurt them a lot in the beginning, first 2 battles, but now look at what he has. He has 4 bears, 4 master bears, and now RS Arcane, he's got a whole nice backline to beat the crap out of our bears. And so we really got to be careful into this battle. This is a very decisive battle. I mean, if you look at my army size, it's nothing too impressive. But if you look at theirs, I mean, they're still standing strong, even after they took all that damage. So I pinged to the map, and during these battles, by the way, we're not saying huge sentences or anything. If there's a hero that we want to kill, we'll say the hero's name. Hell, we'll even do the abbreviation. Like if we want to kill the Demon Hunter, we'll just say DH. We aim for the DH. If we kill it, awesome. We move on to a different one. But you know, you don't talk so much towards a distraction where they're focusing on what you're saying too much instead of actually focusing on the battle. See, here's how we start it. We say Panda. There goes the Panda. The Panda's down. The Demon Hunter runs way too far in right there, so we take the opportunity to focus far onto the DH. We say DH. And just so he cannot portal out there, I use a Forked Lightning, but not enough to kill him. Just enough to weaken him very much, and just to where in time, after a few more hits, like half a second worth of hits, he'll die. Because sometimes they'll time that right and they'll TP just before it happens. So we say Keeper, he runs out of the way, but that opens up all of these archers. So we are attacking those. And notice how we just totally leave out those bears, and we just let them do their own thing there. And just through that communication throughout that battle, and just being synchronized, both thinking on the same track right there, that's what probably did it for that battle. I mean, both of us had a fairly good size army, and just our cooperation, our coordination in destroying those heroes, that's what did it for us. Another huge thing on communication, like I said, if you're talking on Ventrilo, don't really say too long of things, because me and Fear, it took us a while to get back into the game, to be honest, and to just get on the same track and on that same wavelength, because the first couple games that we were playing, we weren't really, we were just saying a bunch of stuff, like through the whole entire battle. I mean, we had other people in the Ventrilo channel trying to talk to us at the same time. I mean, it was very hard to focus, but, I mean, I guess when we're under pressure, we play harder, I guess, I don't know. But, so I guess to kind of do an outline of what I just told you guys, just some basic things. I would very much recommend a voice chat thing. Now, about like Ventrilo and all that stuff, TeamSpeak, all that stuff, or Roger Wilco, if they even still use that crap. But the thing that you have to know about it is that you're not going to be significantly better like right away, because at first it's actually going to be a little distracting. It's going to be harder to play, but it's just one of those things you got to get used to. It's like when I got a new mouse. I have that Logitech MX510 now. My one before that was that IntelliMouse thing, and it was pretty hard to play my first couple games because I have to get used to the mouse. But now I would never go back to that old mouse, because that old mouse is such crap compared to this one. That on a steel pad alone is just so sexy. But that, and just making sure, just make shortcuts in your communications. I've been saying this since me and newbie CF, back when he was in CF actually, not GGL, were doing 2s in Reign of Chaos. We would, before we had Ventrilo, before it was really big, we would just type out the abbreviations. We would ping on the map. We would ping, but not, if you ping on them to the map, that sort of says this, that sort of says go there, or pay attention to this spot or something. You don't have to type it out. So if we have to go creep somewhere, we just ping to the map. If we're both going to be separate, we made a thing to where, if I ping somewhere, if I'm going to creep there, I'll double ping it, and if he's going to creep somewhere, I'll ping there. So I double ping somewhere and ping somewhere else. That's another, just like a Morse code, think of it, just a shorthand, just so he knows the message, and you barely have to do anything to get that message across. That's the best way. That's the way to really get in sync with your opponent. I mean, not your opponent, your ally. Getting in sync with your opponent, too, is a very nice thing. That's what probably benefited to our victory into this one. Because you gotta get your timing right. You just gotta have that thing in your mind, like when we saw that panda come out. Alright, he's just got tier 2. Now would be a great time to attack. So we did that. We realized that one of them's probably going for a bear build, because we judged by the size of his army in that second battle. There were 3 major battles, if you don't remember. One on the outskirts of his base when we killed his tier 2 buildings. The second one was when we came again to kill his tier 2 buildings there. And that's when I detonated and destroyed the skeletons. And the last one was just kind of in the middle there, where we were just killing heroes right and left. So, what was I gonna say? I'm sorry, I was reading in the BNet channel. Drayan was saying hi, and he just totally screwed me up. That's right. Yeah. So we saw the size of their army in the second battle, and we were like, alright, he's probably going to get bears soon. So we just attacked right away, making sure that he doesn't have Masterclass yet, because his bears are just elaborate healers, and they are very easy targets to kill, especially when you have a mana burn. That is awesome. So, another thing to understand 2s a little better is to get really good grips onto the map. For example, I'll lay out a little scenario here. It was actually me and Newbie. We were playing at the LAN center, and we were doing 2s, and we're trying to dominate West to get the ladder season. And what we were doing, we played on Null Wood, right? I spawn at the upper right. He spawns at the lower right of Null Wood. Our opponents are at the way opposite end, so they're at the upper left and lower left. So the 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock position of Nullwood, those are vacant, so just kind of keep that in mind. What happens, just after we finish the middle, we are both going to go separate to creep. And now I have archers, he has grunts. And if you can try, and we're going to get rid of those yellow creeps at the gold mine. Which ones do you think I would go to? Would I go to either the one at the top, closer to the vacant base up top, or to the bottom, closer to the vacant base at the bottom? And the answer would probably be the one to the top. And what that is, I'm closer to my wells, so if I have to run, it's fine, because I can just run up north along the path above those trees. And those archers, though, I had less of a chance to get creepjacked there, basically. And I had archers, and you take a lot more damage if you have all these weak archers in the front getting creepjacked than you would for grunts. So that's why we decide on those things. So you have to understand, you just got to play it by ear. You got to have that good instinct with it. So that's it for this one, guys. I'll see you all later.